So the 1st of August is the tariffs deadline, and some have been scrambling to do last-minute deals with Trump. Taiwan says it's reached a certain consensus, but the US leader has also been busy making new threats. While announcing new trade agreements with South Korea and Pakistan, Trump is upping the pressure on India to do the same. He says he'll hit Indian imports with a 25% tariff. And the president has threatened New Delhi with an additional unspecified penalty for buying energy and arms from Russia. The measures are also due to come into effect on Friday.
As you know, Prime Minister Modi is a friend of mine, but they don't do very much business in terms of business with us. They sell a lot to us, but we don't buy from them. You know why? Because the tariff is so high. They have one of the highest tariffs in the world. Now they're willing to cut it very substantially, but we'll see what happens. We're talking to India now. We'll see what happens. And it doesn't matter too much whether we have a deal or whether we charge them a certain tariff. But you'll know at the end of this week.
And let's get more from DW Delhi Bureau Chief Sandra Petersman. Sandra, good to see you. What's been the reaction in Delhi to Trump's tariff announcement?
Well, Biresh, there is no detectable panic mode here in the capital. But of course, there is nervousness, there is anxiety. The opposition keeps on telling Prime Minister Modi that all his many hugs with his alleged friend Donald Trump have led to nothing, certainly not to a preferential tariff treatment. And if you look at the stock exchange this morning, obviously Indian shares have been going down. Ordinary people in the streets, if you speak to them, they are fearing or asking themselves, rather, whether these tariffs of 25% will perhaps lead to higher living costs here, to higher energy prices, or even lead to more unemployment here in India. And let's not forget, there is still one big unknown. That is the penalty tariff, if it really gets introduced, for India's continued deals with Russia when it comes to the procurement of military equipment and crude oil. A big unknown here that is leading to a lot of worries, certainly.
What has been announced is a 25% tariff. It would certainly be a major blow. But what kind of impact would this have on India's economy, and which industries, Sandra, could be hit?
Well, this could, of course, impact future investments in India. If we look at a lot of Western countries wanting to diversify away from China, looking for new markets, obviously India was hoping to become the next future manufacturing hub. But now other countries like Indonesia and Vietnam have already signed trade deals with President Trump with better tariffs. So maybe that's the fear here. India will now potentially get overlooked. And if you look at sectors which are certainly going to be impacted by the tariffs of 25%. It's all those ones where America is the biggest buyer. That would be textiles and apparel, certainly electronic equipment like mobile phones, including the iPhone, auto spare parts, and also pharmaceuticals and gemstones. So all of these are vulnerable sectors which could certainly see lesser margins because of the new tariffs.
You mentioned that Trump has already struck trade deals with South Korea and Pakistan as well. Does India have any leverage left at all in any potential trade deal talks?
Depends on how you look at it, Biresh. I'm just wanting to remind the audience of one of the many posts that Donald Trump put out on Truth Social, one very recent one, just a few hours old. He literally said, let me quote, "I don't care what India does with Russia. They can take their dead economies down together for all I care." So either India has really misread the US president, or, and this is what some analysts are suggesting here, India is keeping its cool, trying to sit it out as trade negotiations with the US for a fair, mutually consensual trade agreement are still ongoing. And in fact, another round of talks will happen later in August. So what India wants is a fair, balanced and mutually beneficial trade agreement. It certainly wants to protect its farmers because half of the population here depends on agriculture for its livelihood, while Trump wants to reduce the trade deficit. He wants to be seen in the driving seat. If that can really lead to a trade deal further down along the line, we have to wait it out, I guess. For India, I think what I would say is India is keeping calm, carrying on, and hoping that future negotiations might lead to better results.
We'll leave it there for the moment. DW Delhi Bureau Chief Sandra Petersman, thanks so much.